Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, viewers. Today we have opportunity to discuss with Mr. Omar Alghabra, Minister for Transport, regarding the current federal budget 2021. And I will ask him, please tell us in easy words to understand the salient features of the budget.
Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak to you and your viewers and your listeners. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity. It's good to see you. Yesterday was a historic day for the budget. This was, by the way, the first ever budget in Canada that was tabled by a female finance minister. That's a historic achievement and we should celebrate it and recognize it. It's also historic because it's a pandemic budget. This budget is focused on the work that we started as a federal government throughout the pandemic, which is putting people first, focusing on supporting individuals, on supporting small businesses, because they bore the brunt of this pandemic. Right. It also focuses on addressing climate change. It also focuses on job creations and economic activities, and it focuses on building for long-term prosperity. So it has a lot of focuses. I should say four major right. Themes, but there's a lot of ideas within them. And I guess if I were to summarize some of the important announcement is that we announced that we're extending the support measures that we launched because of COVID until September. So a lot of the support for individuals and small businesses, they were set to expire in June. We now announced that we're extending them till September.
Okay.
Because we believe that we need to do everything we can to help individuals and small businesses during the pandemic, and we're not going to stop until the pandemic is over. We feel that by around the summer, we're going to see change, but in the circumstances and COVID circumstances, but we need to be there for Canadians throughout this difficult time. We also announced new measures to help create jobs. For example, we're creating an incentive for businesses to hire people or to rehire people that they laid off. We're paying up to 50% of the cost of hiring or creating new jobs. So that's good news. We're providing in addition to the support that I talked about, that we launched in the pandemic, from SIBA to wage subsidy to CERB. We are announcing other type of support to help businesses become more environmentally friendly, to help, as I said, create jobs, to help adapt and adopt new technology. So there are new important measures for individuals and businesses.
What is, by the way, Minister, what is green recovery?
Yes. So, and I know all Canadians know this, climate change is a real problem. We are seeing a lot of the impact of climate change through floods, through fires, through storms, and we need to do something about climate change. And the way to do this is by cutting pollution, by reducing pollution. So we believe that and the entire world is moving in that direction. So we believe that we need new technologies, new ways of doing things, like vehicles, like electric vehicles, like technologies that cuts pollution from manufacturing, like how we dispose of plastic, etc. So what we're creating programs and initiatives that provide financial support for businesses that want to create these new technologies. Also for businesses that want to implement and adopt these new technologies. So this is how we believe we can achieve two goals at once: cutting pollution, but at the same time create new jobs and new economic activities.
Right. This is 724 pages budget document. It is huge, and you can't go through alone. And that is why we are discussing the main and salient features of the budget for the public, easy to understand. what is for them and what is the good news for them. So, what is the minimum wage now, and what are the benefits and the taxes and other things?
Sure. So I talked about maintaining the support that we introduced during the pandemic. I talked about how we're extending that. So
Yes.
any individual or families who dependent on this support, either from CERB to wage subsidy, they know that this support is going to continue until September. And the idea is that we believe by then people who are looking for work will find work. So that's good news for people who are nervous about finding jobs. The other things we also announced a national daycare program. What that means is that there are families who send their kids to daycare. In Mississauga, for example, the cost is about $1,500 to $2,000 a month per child. That's if they find a spot. So we now are announcing a national plan to by next year to cut that cost in half, and that in 5 years we're going to reduce the cost to $10 per day. So that is a lot of money in people's pocket, especially families that have kids. They're going to save a lot of money. And also we're going to help create spaces for them. So, for example, even families that have money, but if they can't find spaces, what's the point? So we're going to help create spaces, and we're going to help make it more affordable.
Okay.
Second, we're now increasing the minimum wage, the federal minimum wage, to $15 an hour. So for workers in federally regulated sectors like transportation, aviation, banking, telecommunication, though the minimum wage is going to now become $15 an hour. Third, we're also expanding the working tax credit. The working tax credit, this is for Canadians who are below a threshold of income. So it's about maybe $24,000 or so. They now can claim more credit. So this is a tax cut for them to help them, keep more of their money so they can provide for themselves, their family, and for their kids. So that's also good news. And this applies to a lot of, grocery workers who have been at the front line of the pandemic serving Canadians. This will provide a tax cut for those workers. We also are talking about, as I said, the job creation incentive. So this may not directly come to the individual, but it will directly create jobs for people who are looking for work. So and I can go on, for small entrepreneurs, for small businesses, we're extending all the support that the government introduced. We're also now we want to cut credit card fees for small businesses. So that's something that a lot of small businesses have been asking for, especially now with online transactions. This will be important. We're also providing funds for small businesses who want to adopt new technologies. Again, the pandemic revealed to us that we can work online, that we can sell online, but sometimes the cost of upgrading our system for a small business is a lot. So we're creating funds to support small businesses so they can do this technological adoption. So I'm trying to explain all these new little things. Yes. By the way, let me talk about housing, because that's also important. The budget has $2 billion for building more affordable housing.
Right.
This will be good for renters, but this also will be good for buyers, even though they may not benefit directly from those affordable housing. But the more you introduce supply in the marketplace, it will help cool down the market a bit. The other thing we're going to introduce is a tax on properties that are owned by foreigners who leave the properties vacant. There are some speculators out there that are buying real estate and keeping it vacant and there tend to be foreigners, maybe not Canadians, because they see a good investment opportunities. Well, we're now going to introduce a tax on foreigners who buy properties and leave it vacant. And that is also good news for people who want to buy homes, because this hopefully will also increase the supply of properties in the market.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that are happening in the budget.
Well, okay, please quickly, Minister, tell us about the new travel restrictions and as well as about the vaccine update.
Yeah, that's important. Look, vaccines are rolling in by the millions every week. As of today, 25% of Canadians have received at least one shot. Right now, we are becoming the second in the G20 for the number of shots per capita. So right. We are rolling out the vaccine quickly. Our job as a federal government is to acquire the vaccine and then distribute it to the provinces, and the provinces have the responsibility of administering the vaccine. So we have given $4 billion to the provinces to expedite the administration of the vaccine. We're working with them on rolling it out as quickly as possible. I know Canadians are anxious. I know there's a lot of anxiety. I just say, hang in there. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. By the way, the budget also announced $2 billion to expand or build on domestic vaccine manufacturing ability. So we don't want to be caught in the future where we don't have domestic production capacity. We want to build our own vaccine here in Canada. So in the short,
that is good news.
Yes, that's very good news. In the short term, we believe we are committed to having 50 million doses of vaccine by the end of June. That is a big number. That will mean that every Canadian that wants at least one shot of vaccine will receive it by the end of June. And by the end of September, every Canadian will be fully vaccinated if they choose to, which means it's good news for Canadians. But for now, I continue to say, please avoid travel. Please follow public health advice. It is difficult right now in Ontario, in Alberta, in British Columbia. We're seeing the numbers again climb. So we're saying, please continue to follow public health advice. I know it's difficult, especially now during Ramadan. People used to observe Ramadan, break their fast at a mosque, at their family members' home, with friends. It's difficult, I know. But hang in there. We're almost there.
Thank you so much, Minister. And I hope my audience, my listeners, they must enjoy your interview, and there are so many good news in this 2021 budget, and hope we will get out of pandemic this year, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much again, and Voice of Canada Urdu always help you, and we will also raise your voice to our audience.
Thank you. As I said to you last time I spoke to you, you are providing an important public service. People are hungry for reliable, credible news, especially in this age of misinformation. So I thank you on behalf of all Canadians for what you're doing. And thank you for giving me the opportunity. And I'm confident, inshallah, I'll come back again and speak with you. But thank you very much.
Definitely. You are most welcome. Okay, have a great day, and Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.